few days ago, a quiet announcement from Washington sent ripples across the Arctic. President Donald Trump appointed Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry as the United States' first ever special envoy to Greenland. Now, at first glance, this may sound just like another diplomatic appointment, but look closer, and you realize something far bigger is at play. Because the real story here isn't just who was appointed, it's why the post itself was created in the first place. The very creation of a US Special Envoy to Greenland signals one unmistakable thing. Trump is serious, deadly serious about America taking over Greenland. Greenland, the largest island in the world spanning nearly 836,000 square miles, rich in minerals, ice-covered, yet geopolitically burning hot, is no longer a distant Arctic outpost. It is now at the center of the global power contest. Officially, Greenland is an autonomous territory under the Kingdom of Denmark. Unofficially, it has been America's strategic wish list for more than 150 years. The year was 1867. The US had just bought Alaska from Russia, and American strategic thinkers asked a simple question. If we control Alaska, shouldn't we control Greenland? Because without Greenland, America's northern flank would remain exposed, vulnerable to military threats coming from the Arctic, particularly from Russia. For decades, these ambitions played in hushed diplomatic whispers, until Trump in 2025 decided to say the quiet part loud. And Denmark predictably was furious. The Danes have rejected American claims outright, citing national sovereignty, historic ties, and connections dating all the way back to the Viking era. After all, Greenland has been tied to Denmark since the Norse explorers first settled there over 1,000 years ago. Ironically, those same Vikings were also the first Europeans to reach North America, landing there in 1021 AD, centuries before Columbus. History, it seems, has a strange sense of symmetry. In the past, America's interest in Greenland was primarily about national security. Today, that's only half the story. The real prize lies beneath the ice. Greenland holds vast reserves of rare earth elements and critical minerals essential for modern electronics, renewable energy technologies, advanced weapon systems, and space and missile defense. In an era where China dominates the rare earth supply chains and Russia is aggressively expanding its Arctic footprint, Greenland represents both strategic security and economic power. From Washington's perspective, owning Greenland makes perfect sense. From Copenhagen's perspective, it's simple violation of national sovereignty. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If Russia were to make a military move towards Greenland, Denmark simply cannot stop it. The Danish military is small. Its Arctic defense capabilities are limited. Yes, Greenland falls under NATO's umbrella, but with the growing friction between Trump and European allies, the reliability of collective defense during a real crisis remains uncertain. And history offers a telling precedent. During World War II, when Nazi Germany occupied Denmark, the United States stepped in. Under a Defense of Greenland agreement, American troops landed on the island in May 1941. What followed? Greenland remained under the American military control even after the war ended. Despite subtle Danish objections, US forces stayed on until 1951. Even today, American troops remain stationed there. At the Bideford space base, around 150 US personnel conduct space surveillance, advanced missile warning, and Arctic operations support. So while Greenland may be Danish on paper, America is already deeply entrenched on the ground. Now let's see why Jeff Landry's appointment changes everything. His appointment as Special Envoy has been vociferously opposed by Denmark, and for good reasons. First, Landry is openly vocal about annexing Greenland into the United States. Second, no nation willingly gives up territory rich in strategic minerals, especially one tied so deeply to its national history. Yet there's another layer to this story. In these turbulent times, where Trump is intent on distancing the United States from Europe and NATO, countries like Russia and China may also start eyeing Greenland. Denmark knows that if Greenland falls under Russia or Chinese influence, It is Europe, not America, that will face the long-term security risks. In that sense, it is common sense for the Danes to agree to American control, fearing possible Russian or Chinese dominance. Officially, Denmark maintains that the final decision rests with the Greenlanders themselves, mostly whom are indigenous Inuit people. But geopolitics rarely waits for perfect moral clarity. Trump appears determined to annex Greenland outright. But there may be another path to this imbroglio. Perhaps a long-term lease, say 100 to 200 years, with the pre-negotiated terms where the United States pays Denmark annual royalties based on mineral extraction. That way, Denmark's national pride remains intact and it manages to get a fair revenue too. Landry seems to be in a mood for outright sale. Louisiana Jeff Landry's home state was purchased from Napoleon's France in 1803 for $15 million. Alaska was bought from Tsarist Russia in 1867 for 7.2 million American dollars. So the question becomes unavoidable. Is another great territorial sale about to reshape the Northern Hemisphere? Whatever the outcome, one thing is clear. Greenland is no longer frozen backwater. It is a chessboard where history, resources, security, and power converge. At Global Headwinds, we hope this dispute finds a peaceful resolution, one where all parties gain. And in this case, unlike many global conflicts, a win-win outcome is still very much possible. The ice is melting, the stakes are rising, and the world is watching Greenland.